All right, welcome everyone. Ready to take a deep dive into the world of castor oil.
Let's do it. It's pretty amazing how this oil has been around for, like, forever.
I know, right? And now it's like having this big resurgence. Everyone's talking about it again.
People are really starting to appreciate natural remedies again. And castor oil, well, it's extracted from these seeds, Ricinus communis seeds.
Okay, gotta remember that one. Ricinus communis. So what's the deal with this oil? Why all the hype?
Well, it all boils down to its main ingredient, ricinoleic acid. It's what gives castor oil its unique properties, like moisturizing and anti-inflammatory effects.
Ah, okay, so like a two-for-one deal for your skin.
Exactly. And it's been used for so many things traditionally, from like soothing irritated skin to, potentially even promoting hair growth.
Hair growth, huh?
Ugh,
We'll like to get to that later. But first, let's talk skincare.
sounds good.
Okay, so I've heard people say that castor oil can help with wrinkles. Is there any truth to that?
It definitely could. You see, castor oil is incredibly hydrating. The fatty acids in it, they really penetrate deep into the skin, which helps to plump it up and reduce those fine lines.
Okay, so it's like moisturizing from the inside out.
Yeah, you could say that. And some people even believe it might boost collagen production, which would give your skin that extra firmness and bounce.
So it's not just masking the wrinkles, but potentially like helping the skin repair itself.
That's the idea. And it's not just wrinkles. Castor oil can also be super helpful for other skin issues, like dryness or even eczema.
Eczema.
Really? Yeah, actually. One of the articles we looked at, Trend this blogger talked about how castor oil completely transformed her skin.
Wow.
It was like a game changer for her. She'd
Yeah.
struggled with eczema her whole life, dry patches, irritation. And castor oil, it calmed everything down, even improved her overall skin texture, she said.
Wow, that's amazing. And I guess it makes sense, right? Eczema is an inflammatory condition, and castor oil has anti-inflammatory properties.
Exactly. It's all connected. The ricinoleic acid in castor oil, it's thought to help reduce inflammation in the dermis.
Dermis, remind me what that is again.
Oh, it's the middle layer of your skin
Ah, right.
where all the, collagen production and blood flow and all that good stuff happens.
Okay, so keeping the dermis happy is key for good skin.
Definitely.
Speaking of skin layers, that trend, this article mentioned all three, didn't it? Epidermis, dermis, and then there's the subcutaneous fat layer.
Right.
So how do those layers tie into, like, the benefits of castor oil?
Well, think of it like this. You've got the epidermis, which is the outermost layer, your skin's shield, right?
Right.
Castor oil helps to keep that layer hydrated and supple, prevents moisture loss.
Makes sense.
Then you have the dermis, where, like I said, a lot of the action happens, and that's where the anti-inflammatory properties of castor oil really come into play.
To help with skin conditions.
Yep. And as for the subcutaneous fat layer, that's the deepest layer, provides insulation and cushioning.
Okay, gotcha. So castor oil is working on, like, multiple levels to improve skin health. It's amazing how one ingredient can do so much.
Right. It's pretty powerful stuff.
And speaking of powerful, what about acne? Can castor oil help with that too?
Potentially. You see, castor oil also has these antimicrobial properties, which means it can help reduce bacteria on the skin.
Okay.
And of course, it can also help soothe inflammation, which is a big part of acne, right?
Right, so it could lead to clearer, calmer skin.
Exactly. Though, of course, more research is always needed to understand its full effects.
Of course. Okay, so castor oil, it's a potential powerhouse for skin health. But now I'm curious about, like, its reputation for hair and lashes. Can it really make a difference there?
We'll definitely dive into that. But, castor oil's moisturizing abilities, they extend to hair too. It's like a super deep conditioner for your strands.
Oh, okay.
And because it helps prevent moisture loss, it can lead to softer, shinier, more manageable hair.
Makes sense.
And then, just like with skin, its anti-inflammatory properties can be really beneficial for the scalp.
Whoa, interesting.
Because a healthy scalp, well, that's the foundation for healthy hair growth.
Right, so it's not just about, like, longer lashes and thicker hair. It's about overall health.
Exactly.
I like that. So what about the claims that castor oil can actually make your hair grow faster? Is there any truth to that?
Well, that's where things get a little more complicated. Some people believe that castor oil can boost scalp circulation, which could then lead to stronger hair growth.
Ooh, okay.
But the scientific evidence for this is still limited. It's more anecdotal at this point.
So, like, lots of people swear by it, but we need more research to really know for sure.
Exactly. Always good to have a healthy dose of skepticism, right?
Right. Okay, and what about lashes?
Well, similar to hair, castor oil can really help to condition and strengthen your lashes.
Ah, okay.
So that makes them less prone to breakage. which can definitely enhance their appearance.
Okay, so it's like giving them a little extra TLC.
Exactly. And again, there are a lot of anecdotal reports of people experiencing fuller, longer lashes after using castor oil consistently.
Interesting.
But, the scientific backing for those claims is still pretty limited.
Gotcha. So we have centuries of traditional use, tons of personal stories, but we're still waiting for science to, like, catch up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, speaking of personal stories, that trend, this article was full of them. And it wasn't just the blogger with eczema, right?
Oh, right. There were so many others. Like, there was this woman in her 40s who said that castor oil was her secret to youthful-looking skin.
No way.
She claimed that it really helped to minimize her fine lines and wrinkles. And get this, there was even a 74-year-old woman who swore by castor oil for reducing wrinkles and dark circles.
Wow, that's incredible.
She actually said that it worked better than any of the high-end creams she'd tried.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So it's gaining fans across generations. And what about the hair and lash testimonials? Were there any of those?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Our other sources had tons of stories about people experiencing stronger, healthier hair and longer, fuller lashes after using castor oil.
Wow. It's amazing how this oil, something so simple derived from a plant, can have such a wide range of potential benefits.
It really is.
But before we all run out and buy a bottle, are there any, like, safety tips we should keep in mind?
Absolutely. Choosing the right product and using it correctly is so important. We can definitely talk more about that in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, safety first, right? It's easy to get caught up in all the excitement.
Right, exactly. So what are, like, the key things to keep in mind when choosing and using castor oil?
Well, the first thing is quality, right? You want to make sure you're getting a pure product.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So how do you do that?
Look for cold-pressed, hexane-free castor oil.
Cold-pressed, hexane-free, got it.
Yeah, that way you're avoiding any, harmful chemical residues.
Okay, that makes sense. We don't want any extra stuff sneaking in.
Exactly. And when it comes to using it, well, a little goes a long way.
Oh, okay. Is it pretty thick?
Yeah, it's quite thick, so you don't need a lot. And always do a patch test first.
Oh, right, a patch test, just to make sure you're not allergic or anything.
Exactly. Just apply a small amount to your forearm and wait 24 hours to see if there's any reaction.
Better safe than sorry. Now, you mentioned something earlier about, like, castor oil pack kits.
Oh, right.
What are those all about?
So these kits, they usually come with these cloths that are soaked in castor oil, and you apply them to specific areas of your body.
Interesting.
Yeah, people use them for all sorts of things like inflammation and muscle soreness.
Oh, like a natural heating pad, but with the benefits of castor oil.
Exactly. They can even be helpful for menstrual cramps.
Really? Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a gentle and natural way to address those discomforts.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. But, always good to consult your doctor before using castor oil for any specific medical condition.
Right, of course. Always good to check with your doctor first.
Now, let's get back to hair for a minute.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that castor oil might be able to improve scalp circulation.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be good for hair growth. How does that work exactly?
So your scalp is like this network of blood vessels, right? And those vessels, they deliver nutrients to your hair follicles.
Okay, so it's like feeding the hair.
Right. But if the circulation is compromised, those follicles might not be getting all the nourishment they need.
Which could lead to weaker hair.
Exactly. And that's where castor oil comes in. The idea is that when you massage it into your scalp, it helps to dilate those blood vessels.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it promotes better blood flow, which then theoretically could lead to healthier hair growth.
So it's like giving your hair follicles a little boost from the inside out.
Exactly.
And the trend, this article mentioned that castor oil's anti-inflammatory properties could also be good for the scalp, right?
Oh, absolutely. A healthy scalp is essential for healthy hair. If your scalp is inflamed from things like dandruff or psoriasis, it can really hinder hair growth.
Makes sense.
So the anti-inflammatory properties of castor oil can help to calm that inflammation down and create a better environment for your hair to thrive.
So it's like addressing the root of the problem, literally.
Right.
I like that. Okay, so while the research on castor oil and hair growth is still, kind of emerging, we do have those personal experiences and anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, tons of it.
So what have people been saying?
Oh, our sources are packed with stories. People are seeing incredible transformations with castor oil.
Really?
Yeah. From that blogger we talked about who saw improvements in her eczema and skin texture, to people reporting stronger, healthier hair, longer, fuller lashes. It's really inspiring to see.
It's those real-life experiences that really, hit home.
Definitely.
But we also need to remember that individual results can vary, right?
Of course.
What works for one person might not work for everyone.
Exactly. It's important to have realistic expectations and, a healthy dose of skepticism when trying any natural remedy.
Right. Not everything is a one-size-fits-all solution.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why it's so important for everyone to do their own research.
Yeah, find what works best for you.
Exactly. And speaking of research, we did promise to provide some resources for listeners.
Oh, right, for those who want to learn more about castor oil.
Yeah. You'll find all those links in the episode description.
Awesome.
We've included links to, reputable websites, books, even some of the products we mentioned, like those castor oil pack kits.
Oh, cool. So whether you're looking for, the science behind it all or just some practical tips, we've got you covered.
Exactly. This deep dive is just a starting point.
Right.
There's so much more to learn about castor oil.
So as we wrap up this part of the deep dive, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think the biggest one is that castor oil is a really versatile natural remedy.
Okay.
And it has this long history of use, which is always reassuring.
Yeah, it's not just some new fad.
Right. And its unique properties, mostly thanks to that ricinoleic acid, offer a whole range of benefits for your skin, hair, and overall well-being.
It's pretty amazing. From soothing eczema to potentially reducing wrinkles, strengthening hair, enhancing lashes, it seems like castor oil can do it all.
It really does seem that way.
And the best part is, it's easy to find and pretty affordable.
Exactly.
But we do need to remember those safety tips. Choose cold-pressed, hexane-free oil, do a patch test, and talk to your doctor if you have any concerns.
Absolutely.
And be patient. Results take time, and consistency is key.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Castor oil is not some magic potion. It's a natural remedy that works in harmony with your body.
I love that. So embrace the journey, explore the potential of castor oil, and see what it can do for you.
And as always, we encourage everyone to keep learning, keep asking questions, and stay curious.
Right, because the journey to well-being is an ongoing exploration.
Absolutely.
So before we sign off, we want to leave you with one final thought. We've talked a lot about the benefits of castor oil for skin and hair.
Right, yeah.
But it almost feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to castor oil.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What else is there?
Well, we've been focusing on external uses, right?
Right, like putting it on our skin and hair.
But castor oil has this long history of being used internally as well.
Oh, right. I remember reading something about that.
It's been used in traditional medicine for things like digestive support, detoxification, even boosting the immune system.
Wow, so it's not just about beauty then.
Exactly. It's like this whole holistic wellness thing.
Okay.
Taking care of your internal health can actually have a huge impact on how you look on the outside.
Makes sense. So while we're all trying to get those long lashes and glowing skin,
Right.
we might also be supporting our overall well-being at the same time.
Exactly. It's all connected.
I like that. It's a pretty powerful concept.
It really is. It's about, approaching health and beauty from a more holistic perspective.
Yeah.
And castor oil, with all its different uses, it really embodies that, I think.
It really does. So to all our listeners out there who are starting their castor oil journey,
Yeah.
remember to keep that holistic perspective in mind.
Right. It's not just about changing how you look.
It's about taking care of your whole self.
Exactly. And remember, everyone's different.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another. So listen to your body and find what feels right for you.
That's great advice.
Yeah,
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today,
we have.
from the history and science of castor oil to its potential benefits, personal experiences, even safety tips.
It's been quite a journey.
And we hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore the world of castor oil.
And to keep learning. There's so much more to discover.
And don't forget to check out the resources we provided in the episode description.
Yeah, we've got links to high-quality castor oils, those castor oil pack kits we talked about.
Books, websites, all sorts of good stuff.
So go ahead, dive in, see what castor oil can do for you. And we'd love to hear about your experiences.
Yes, share your discoveries, your tips, your questions.
We're always excited to learn from our listeners.
And remember, the journey to well-being is an ongoing one.
Keep exploring.
So keep asking questions, keep seeking knowledge, and keep embracing the power of nature.
Well said.
Until next time, stay curious, stay well.